What if you could build forms without the usual headaches? What if you could give users an easy no-code form builder while still keeping full control over everything happening behind the scenes? Introducing the form block, available for both page and pop-up builders. With various pre-built templates and customization options, the form block is easy to integrate for developers and intuitive to use for end users. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to make the most of the form block. First, we'll show you how to enable the form block inside the Beefree SDK developer console. Next, we'll guide you through how to create a pre-built default form for your users that they can quickly customize for any landing page or pop-up. Next, we'll guide you through 2 examples of how to use the contentDialog manage form method. The first example demonstrates how to first trigger a custom-built UI that interacts with Beefree SDK and provides end users with a form library they can choose. The second example walks through how to load your UI for form creation on top of the builder, so you can load forms into Beefree SDK from those custom user interfaces. And finally, we'll show you how the form block allows your end users to customize their form directly inside the builder, making it flexible and easy to use. No coding required. By the end of this video, you'll see how Beefree simplifies form building for everyone. Developers can set up default templates, while the SDK ensures a smooth experience for end users to edit and customize forms effortlessly. We'll also provide 3 sample forms and a README to help you explore this feature. You can find them in our GitHub repo linked in the video description. First, let's enable the form block feature. You can enable the form block feature from the Beefree SDK dashboard by heading to your page builder application and clicking Details. From there, you can click Configure Application, and then we can scroll to the bottom of the page here until we find the Contents section. Then we can click the checkbox to enable the form content block, and then hit Save Changes, and then Confirm. Now that this is enabled, you can maintain full control over data processing, default form customization, and overall behavior, which leads us to the next section. Now, it's important to remember that in order for the form block to appear in the builder, you must enable it in the console, and then pass a form to the default form parameter in the Beefree SDK configuration. If either step is missing, the form block will not appear. So to ensure this is done correctly, you can always reference the form validation schema for creating your own form, which I've linked in the video description. Next up, we'll show you how to pre-build default forms your end users can easily drag and drop into the builder, and then customize however they like. There are 2 methods to enable your users to add forms in Beefree SDK. The first method is by passing in the configuration parameters a single default form, potentially including all the fields your application supports, and then have customers customize and style forms with our form content block. Okay, the second method is all about implementing a contentDialog on top of the form content block and building a user interface on top of the builder so that users can either browse and select pre-built forms or build a new form altogether. Let's show you how to do both. As mentioned, the simplest way to allow users to add forms in the Beefree SDK is by including a single default form in the configuration parameters. The final product can look something like this. This is a car loan pre-approval banking form. You can see that you can add your full name here, your credit score range, your car make and model, loan amount requested, and whether it's a used or new car. Now let's head to the code to show you how we implemented this. It's important to note that in this example, the JSON has been pre-pasted into the default form object. You can access this JSON through the link provided in the video description. So first, let's scroll down to the B configuration, because this is the most important part of implementing the form block. If a developer does not include this default form parameter in their code, it will not be available in the builder. Here you'll notice that I have my auto loan pre-approval form here, and you'll need to ensure you have the right structure within your JSON for your form to load properly for your end users. Make sure to check out the GitHub repository as we mentioned earlier, which we've linked in the video description. That's where you'll find the validation schema to ensure you're using the correct properties when creating forms within the default form parameter. In our example here, you can see the structure we've created, which includes structure, then you have title, description, fields, and then you can see all the different fields we have here. These are all properties that do exist within the validation schema. Then you also have layout, which you can see here. And finally, attributes. Again, this layout is super important because if we navigate back to the end user experience, we want to ensure this Add New Field button is visible. Now back to the code. This won't appear if you don't have in your code this layout section here, and also these fields defined in this section over here. After Submit button, you'll also notice number, long text, data list. All of these different properties have to be defined. And part of their definition is the data type, the label, the options, the attributes, and then remove from layout. Another important thing to remember is if I go over here, you'll notice that I have a few true or false booleans. In the options here, can be removed from layout. If this is set to true, and then we head to the builder, you'll have the delete button available here. And it's clickable, so your end user can delete any field. A few other options you can customize are remove from layout. So this is set to false so that when the default form is dragged and dropped onto the stage, it automatically includes the first and last name fields. Can be modified. So this is set to true if you want your users to be able to edit different fields in the form. For example, if we want to give the end user the ability to modify their credit score range, we can copy can be modified true and paste it here and save this. And then if we head to the builder and drag and drop our form onto the canvas and then click on it, you'll notice that credit score range has an edit option here that we can click on and now edit. Now let's cover the second way you can enable forms for users in Beefree SDK. This method uses contentDialog and a custom UI on top of the builder, which allows users to browse and select from any number of pre-built forms. So here's my code, and you can see I have bconfig and I have contentDialog. ContentDialog is the parameter that needs to be added to the bconfig to activate the button that says Edit Label. If we scroll down, you'll notice that within contentDialog, we have this section here. Manage form. This object is crucial and needs to be included in order for this implementation to work. It includes a label which triggers the contentDialog, and it says edit form right now, which is what we want it to say. But if we wanted to change this text to say something different, like select form for instance, I can simply edit this label here. And then here I have some logic that I use in order to manage the different forms that I've added. And so basically what's happening here is that when the contentDialog model is triggered by an end user clicking the Edit Form button, they have the option to select one of these three different forms: the auto loan form, the mortgage form, or the credit card form. Now let me show you what this experience looks like on the front end. So here we have the same template as before, and let's say we want to add a form at the bottom of the page here. We can drag and drop the form block. And to change the form type, your end user can head to the Edit Form button and select any of the form variables we previously created. Now we're going to show you how to load your UI for form creation on top of the builder. That means your users will be able to create a new form and add it to the web content they're building without interrupting their workflow. Let me explain. In this example, we want to give the user the power to build their own custom forms. The experience looks like this. The end user drops the form block onto the stage, and then they click Edit Form to enter the form builder. This is a custom built form builder that I created, showcasing what the host's application is truly capable of implementing. You can get super creative with how you design this experience. Now, let's create a simple form for a personal loan. To do so, we can click on each field and modify the text to match the information we want to capture. Once we're done, we can hit Save Form. The form will then automatically load inside the builder. If I click into the form, I can still make changes, like editing or deleting fields, for example. And if we scroll back up and click Edit Form, I can always go back and add new fields if I so choose. Now, if we go to the code, let's look at what is working behind the scenes. At a high level, this advanced implementation builds on the same basic concepts as before, with one key addition: a new variable called form structure. Now, when a user creates a form, it is passed through the contentDialog modal that appears when the end user clicks Edit Form. This form data is then passed to defaultForm, which is how it's able to load in the builder. This approach gives developers and technical teams the flexibility to apply different logic, customize configurations, and create a similar experience tailored to their end users' needs. To recap, here's a quick comparison of the two form block implementation methods. Method 1, so the quick setup, is no contentDialog or custom UI needed. This just takes 3 steps. Enable the checkbox in the Beefree SDK developer console, add the default form parameter in the Beefree configuration, and pass valid JSON in the default form field. This loads the form automatically when users drag and drop the block. Method 2 is the custom setup. This uses contentDialog and a custom UI for more flexibility. Choose Method 1 for simplicity or Method 2 for a more tailored experience. Okay, now let's talk about what your end users can do. So the front-end customization of the form block. So when an end user drags the form block onto their landing page, the sidebar provides full customization controls. As we showed earlier in the video, you can start by selecting a form using the Edit Form button, which allows your end users to choose from pre-built forms. Other customization options include Layout, which lets you set the width, alignment, font family, weight, and size to match the page design. Manage Fields. Here you can add, edit, or rearrange up to 10 field types, including multiple choice, email, drop-down, phone, and text fields. Label Options. This allows you to format label text, choose top or side positioning, and adjust width when using side labels. With field options, you can customize background color, borders, selected field styles, and input text color for clarity and consistency. And finally, button options. This gives you control to style the submit button with custom fonts, colors, and alignment for a cohesive look. By leveraging these options, users can quickly build a polished, on-brand form, no coding required. So to wrap up, Beefree's form block is a powerful feature that lets you build sophisticated end-user experiences that are customizable and easy to use. Developers, you are in control. Just check the box in the developer console to enable the form feature. To make life easy for your end users, you can create default forms, a custom no-code form builder in the UI, or even an entire form library for your end users to choose from. Best of all, your end users can enjoy a no-code tool that still allows them to further customize every detail, from form properties to field and button styles. This lets them achieve the perfect look to match their brand.